There we are. It says you're live. Hopefully we are. You guys let me know if we're live. Let me know if we got sound and video and whatnot. It's darker than normal. This is way past my bedtime. I'm usually in bed 7:30. Sometimes not that early, but I usually do this. If I do the show at 7, then I go to bed like 8 or 8:30. But there was a lot going on today, and by the way, we got to do the box thing. It's part of the thing. It's part of the brand. My name is Michael Bunker. This is the Bunker Nation. I'll be your host for the evening. Glad you could join us. Come on in here, have a seat if you want to. Type into the comment section, tell me where you are. In the meantime, we got to do this thing. So there we go. There we go. We got that behind us. Hello, Danielle Bunker, my beautiful wife. So glad you could be here. Hello, Amy from Prosper. Glad. Billy, good to see you. Glad you guys all could be here, man. I tell you what, I don't think I've ever done one this late. Seems like people are a little bit more innervated, a little bit more present. Glad you guys could be here. I don't have a whole lot to talk about. I haven't planned a conversation or rant. Today was a interesting day because it started off bad, then it got really worse, and then it was really bad, and then it got a little bit better. So I planned on going to the gym this morning, got everything ready, got everything in the car, got everything going, found my keys, started looking for my wallet. No wallet. I looked everywhere. And when you say you looked everywhere, the smart people are going, no, you didn't look where it is, or you would have it. So anyways, I went back in my mind, time traveled, and remembered that I had used my wallet after the gym yesterday. At 7 o'clock in the morning, I went to the grocery store and I bought ice, and that was it. Hello, Daniel. Hello, Russ. We got Ohio, we got Michigan, we got Texas, we got all kinds of places in here. So I went and got ice, and then I went home. I had my wallet when I got ice. No reason I would have put it down or dropped it or whatever. And so then I drove home, and I looked everywhere. I seriously, I came down to the office. I rifled through anything. I didn't weigh myself. Usually I weigh myself about 4 o'clock in the morning. And I didn't weigh myself yesterday. And so then I thought maybe, I went down later in the day. I weighed myself. Maybe I took it out of my pocket. So I went through everything, went up to the cottage, went through everything, went through the car, pulled the cars around to make sure it hadn't dropped under the car, spent hours and hours and hours. Finally drove back to the grocery store. They hadn't seen it, even though I was pretty sure I wouldn't have left it there. So I got Danielle to call me, and I was going to tell her the news that I had lost my wallet, which has everything in it. And so while she just called, and I had the phone, we're talking, and I went over to the hammock, and I kind of opened it up, and I sat in it, and I went, well, I found my wallet. It was in the hammock. You see, if any of you guys are on Family Feud, and the question was a place you might have left your wallet, people would have said the car, between the car seats, on the ground, wherever, all these different. Nobody would have said the hammock, because I fell asleep in the hammock yesterday. Somehow it worked its way out of my pocket, and it was in the hammock, and it rained last night, so my wallet was soaking wet, but it was all there. Everything was good. Arkansas is here. Good to see you. On your way home to Georgia, be careful. Be careful. Be armed. Be aware. So I found my wallet, which was the one bright spot of the day. So then I needed to go back to town, which was late in the day. And so I decided, hey, my first plan for today was to go to the gym. I never go to the gym late in the afternoon. So I decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to go by the gym, go ahead and get my workout in. So about 5 o'clock or so, I went to the gym. It's a whole different thing. It's not the same as when you're there at 4:30 in the morning and you're the only one there and the gym is yours. and the air conditioner's blowing and you're doing your thing. It's hotter and there are people there. But I got my workout in, got a good pump. I'm trying to learn fitness lingo. Got a good pump, and then and so my day got a little bit better. And then I'm driving home, and the brighter spot was Danielle called. That's right. And then now I got a problem with the car. The left rear wheel is going. So I don't know if it's a strut or whatever it is, but when you live off the highway and you live off the dirt road and you live off the grid and your wheel goes, that's probably not a good thing. So my day was like this. It was like this. It was plummeting. It was on fire. And then it picked up. Danielle called, found a wallet, got to work out, and it was. And so then I figured, you know what? I'm going to get on here. I'm going to talk to you folks. Somebody may need me. Somebody out there may need to ask me a question, may need to talk to me, may need to know what's going on. I don't know. I don't have a rant. I had a rant planned because of huge logic fallacies. I made a post yesterday about some moron who did some meme where he said I stopped believing in God a long time ago, but lately I've come to believe there aren't any real Christians. Some of you may have seen that on my Facebook, and all I did was point out how stupid it was for there to be a long lag between you thinking there's no God and you thinking there's no real Christians. The word real is the key. And apparently people were too stupid. I stopped doing all my Christian stuff, all my ministry stuff and all that. I stopped doing it on Facebook and Twitter and all that on my main page. I have a ministry page. And the reason why is because we are drowning in a tsunami of stupid, and professing Christianity is the worst of it. They don't know their central book. They don't know Christ, and they don't know anything about Christianity. But they will bombard you. They will gish gallop you. And so you have them on one side, and you have the atheists and the agnostics on the other side who also aren't willing to deal with rules and logic and all these kind of things. Every time I get on my main page and I post something about Christianity, even if it was this, which was nothing, it was merely me pointing out the logic fallacy and someone saying, I stopped believing in God a long time ago, but I just now thought that there aren't any real Christians. That's a logic thing I'm bringing up. That has nothing to do with Christianity or God or anything else. I'd be glad to have that conversation. And of course, see, here's the thing. There are people who follow me who do not like me. And they sit there every day and they burn. They burn because I'm right time and time and time and time again, like for years. For years. Some of these people, I've been on YouTube since 2009. I've been on Facebook since whenever Facebook started. And I've been right so much, so overwhelmingly right. All they do is sit there and burn. And then they wait. They wait for something to happen, somebody to attack me or somebody to say something or something like this where I mentioned something about an atheist. And the atheists out there will all sit there and go, ah. You finally lit the fire under them. So this idiot decided he wanted to get into it about whether or not that was logical or not. Another idiot who's been an idiot for 10 years, probably been an idiot his whole life, but I've known him for 10 years, decided he was just going to go ahead and take that opportunity to tell me about his own Christianity that he made up in his head. My place isn't I don't even want to talk about this stuff. I want to talk about what you want to talk about. I am here for you. The only reason I'm here at 8:39 in the evening past my bedtime is because I care and I know that things are bad out there. I know that people are getting shot in their cars by rioters, And I know that everybody's got to be kind of worked up. I got a friend tried to buy a freezer, can't buy a freezer. You can't buy a freezer in this country. Maybe you could pre-order one for next year, which is the next time you can get a butcher date. Apparently, there's a puzzle shortage. Nobody told me about that. I haven't tried to buy any puzzles. I like puzzles. And now I'm going to try to buy one because I didn't know there was a puzzle shortage. The coin shortage is a complete concocted fabrication, merely designed to prepare people for the cashless society, which is coming right around the corner. It's not that they don't like you being right. They don't like being called out as wrong. I don't think you can say it's not that. I think both of those are two sides of the same coin. People don't like being exposed. That's true. But they would prefer it if I wasn't right. So I'm just going to have you zip out your first statement. Your first statement was only partially right, but the rest of it was really good. I want to publicly say thank you for sharing what you know and could see. It scares me to think how much farther behind my family would be without it. Thank you, Daniel. You know, it's good to be appreciated. At least to think that you're appreciated. I don't have much experience with that, knowing that, so it's good that you said that. I appreciate you for saying that. So here we are, weird stuff going on. People have no idea what they're flying into, what they're coming into, but it's going to be worse than they can. Zip. Good one. So, and then there's other things going on I can't really even talk about. You know, today was just not a good day, other than talking to my wife, which is always a great blessing. Today was not a good day. I'm looking at the weather going into next week. Today was beautiful, but it was humid. Oh, get out. And it's supposed to be 101, 102, 103, 104, up to 106 through the weekend. The next 10 days, all over 100. And here I am, stuck in the middle with you, stuck in the oven with you. So if you guys have a question or a comment or something you want to talk about, perhaps you would like to, I don't know, let's stretch the boundaries a little bit. Maybe you want to talk about something interesting. Just type it into the comment section if you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, or if you're on YouTube, because we're broadcasting to all these different platforms. We have the opportunity to, I don't know, talk about cool stuff. We don't have to talk. See, I think about things during the day and I go, hey, I don't know. Maybe somebody wants to hear about that. But then I think, you know, maybe they don't. Maybe they want to talk about something else. A lot of times people want to talk about what they already know. That's why I don't get a whole lot of questions. But we'll see. So it's going to be hot for the next 10 days. I'm stuck here for the next 10 days. Don't know if my car is going to run for the next 10 days. And, but the good news is I found my wallet. It was wet, but I found it. This is my 5th shirt that I've worn today because I've soaked through the other 4. We had about last night, got about a half inch, happened about 1:40 in the morning. Do you think all this COVID and Black Lives Matter unrest goes away November 4th? It only goes away if Biden wins. If Biden wins, it goes away. That's the reason it exists. So, and that's not a political statement. I'm not a Trumpster. I'm not any of those things. I got no dog in the fight. But the bullhorns and the people who are behind the mayhem that's going on, they want Biden to win. And so if Biden wins, yeah, it goes away. Maybe. What is the possibility that this is as good as life gets? Really, really, really high. I watched a movie recently. It's an old movie. I don't remember which movie it was. And there was a line in the movie and it says, every day you wake up, you have to realize this is the best day of your life. Oh, Office Space. Office Space has that line. This is very possibly as good as that doesn't mean that we don't have peaks and valleys on the long slope. That doesn't mean that there aren't times. I walk out of here sometimes and everything is in general, and the long scope of things are as bad as it can get. The world is a dumpster fire. Mainstream Christianity is apostate. I would say 95% of professing Christians don't know Christ and don't know the gospel. Haven't read anything, don't know anything, don't know the Bible or anything else. And I walk out of there and I look out and I see all the things that God has made existing in his creation. And I just revel in it. So when we say it's as bad as it's going to get, sometimes in the middle of the bad, it's as good as it's going to get. I mean, it's as good as it possibly can get. That type of fellowship, when you're in the middle of the creation and you realize that God's got you no matter what. But yeah, as far as the rest of it, I know too much history. That's my problem. I've studied history, I've studied literature, I've studied all of these things. The pattern of civilization is well set. It's well set. You cannot burn down the bottom floor of your 30-story apartment building. You cannot completely remove it and not have the whole edifice come down. Fully 50-some% of the people in Western civilization want it destroyed and erased, not realizing that it is the foundation that is holding up the entire edifice. Fully 50% of the people, if given a button, would blow out the bottom floor, which cannot be replaced other than with massive debt. Massive amounts that you can't even fathom. I read Alexander Solzhenitsyn quotes yesterday. Let me read you this one. Find it real quick. This is a good one. To destroy a people, you must first sever their roots. Okay, hold on. If I were asked today to formulate as concisely as possible what was the main cause of the ruinous revolution that swallowed up some 60 million of our people, I could not put it more accurately than to repeat: men had forgotten God, and that is why all of this happened. And the thing is, we have firsthand accounts prior to the Russian Revolution. I've held up a book here before. Lenin and Zurich. We have firsthand accounts prior to the Russian Revolution, August 1914. Highly recommended. I've read this one twice. You have other writers, Turgenev, Fathers and Sons, who wrote prior to the Russian Revolution. And so it's not a mystery what happens when an entire several generations forgets or is not taught anything to do with what allowed civilization to exist to the point where they could be affluent and lazy and go to higher places of education where they could be taught nonsense without ever doing any physical labor or knowing that real wealth only comes from the ground. And so here we are. People like, I don't understand how you know. How I know is because I read all those books, a lot, and 100 more. I drove through Oklahoma today. It was rough, but maybe not as rough as your day. Well, driving through Oklahoma, man, you got my respect. All right, so here I am. If you guys have questions or comments or anything you want, I started on a rant right there, but I stopped myself. I almost went off on a rant, but I stopped myself because every time I do, and it's that particular topic, my unsubscribe goes, whoa. People like tune in. They're like, this is the guy who lost 100 pounds. I want to hear what he has to say. And he's on here saying, yeah, if you read Solzhenitsyn, you realize that we're living in a dumpster fire. It's only going to get worse. Unsubscribe. I just wanted to hear him talk about protein pancakes. Hey, y'all, I got another channel where I don't talk about any of this stuff, and I just talk about protein pancakes and walking a lot. Look up Bunk Fit. That's the other channel. And so, but if you're here, this is what you're going to get. Me saying I've been right for 20 years, talking about what's going on in the world without being overtly political, but just telling you the truth, and people hating it, hating it with a passion. But I'm here for you. So here, there's a comment section. You guys type in some comments. In the meantime, I wanted to tell you that we've got a book coming out. I've got a book coming out. I wrote with my friend Sopek Chanthuan, who is a Cambodian. And he and his family escaped out of Cambodia in the late 1970s because of the rise of the Khmer Rouge. Think of the Khmer Rouge as Antifa because they're the same thing. Who, upon ascending to power, killed 2.5 million Cambodians in a little over 3 years. And so we wrote a book about it, and it's called God in the Storm, and I would recommend that you go and pre-buy it. The ebook's going to be available for pre-sale like maybe tomorrow. But in the meantime, you can go get the signed paperback or hardback just anytime you want to. You can go get it right now. I'll put this here on the bottom. Go to godinthestorm.com. It's my first full novel in a while. And so, go check it out. I think the book is a novel. It is exciting. It's fascinating. It shows you the parallels between what's going on today and what was going on in the late 70s in Cambodia. Oh, I thought Bunk Fit was the thing you threw when you were mad. You don't want to see me when I'm mad. All right. So, so yeah, if you're interested in, working out, not eating too much, or eating a lot and not eating a lot of calories, getting fit and trim and lean, like a machine, then you want to go to the Bunk Fit channel. It is linked in the description. All you have to do is wait till the video's over, then go down in the description. Oh, by the way, I meant to also update that we were doing a fundraiser for the batteries for the solar trailer so that I can do more of these and I don't have the power problems that I've been having. We've raised most of the money. We probably still need 100, 200 for cabling. I have no idea what the cabling is going to cost. That's the one thing we lack. We got enough for the battery. So now we need some for the cables. So if you want to, just go to michaelbunker.com. Right around, I always have a problem. Right around here at michaelbunker.com, this area, there's a button that says subscribe partner. Click on that. There's like 6 different ways you can donate money. One of them is a monthly patronage. So like $5, $10 a month, and you're going to get special stuff, but you're also going to be helping me do this show because all of this costs money. Also, if you're here, hit the like button. 14 people watching, only 8 people hit the like button. How can you not like this? Also subscribe. I'm only doing this while I'm waiting for your comments. My signed hardback has been ordered. Excellent. Hello, Pat. Hello, everybody. Come on in here. We don't have a whole lot of time. We actually have a lot of time, but it doesn't look like we're getting any questions, which means you guys are either getting tired or you just don't have anything to say. You're just hoping that something's going to trigger me and I'm going to go off, but I'm not going to. I'm practicing self-control. And so if you don't want to talk, then that's good. We don't have to force things. It's that kind of relationship. All you have to do is like say, hey, have a good night. And then I'll go and I'll probably watch one episode of Yellowstone before I turn in, even though it's past my bedtime already. So I kind of went off on a little rant. There was that, but that's all there is. I'll give you a couple of minutes if you have questions or comments, things you want to talk about. I'm here for you. It's been a bad day, but it got better towards the end. What's my opinion of the St. Louis couple that were defending defending their property from protesters. First of all, I'm glad they did it. I'm glad it was captured on video. I wish that they had better barrel control and safety knowledge. Other than that, God bless them. A bunch of thugs smashed through a gated community. These people had no reason to believe that those thugs were going to stop there or go somewhere else, and they protected their property. God bless them. Glad nobody got killed, nobody got shot, but I'm glad they were armed. Don't know anything about them, don't care to know anything about them other than if you're out there, people, get yourself some gun safety lessons. But the fact that they didn't really know how barrel discipline works, let me explain it to you really quickly. At the end of the gun, whatever size it is, if it's this big or if it's that big, there's a barrel where the bullet comes out. That barrel should never paint a person unless you plan to kill them. So that barrel goes up when you move, or it can go down when you move, but you don't sweep it when there's a person there because it could go off and kill that person. If you're holding a pistol, like James Bond, keep your finger off the trigger, keep it pointed up or keep it pointed down. Don't keep it pointed like she did, like that, and then look around and you're painting people with, just think of a red dot or a paint spray coming out of that thing, and it should never hit a person except the person you intend to kill. All right? That's pretty simple. So if you're going like, see, if I'm looking at myself in the camera and I'm moving the weapon and I keep my finger off the trigger, I go up and then I go down. I don't ever let the end of that to eternity cross another person unless I plan to kill them. All right? That's what I hope that they would know. Other than that, the fact that they owned the weapons, the fact that they used them, the fact that they defended their property, God bless them. Yellowstone is pretty awesome. I will tell you, I'm enjoying it. I really enjoy Kevin Costner. I'm on the verge of getting a little bit wary of the writing because Jamie and Beth are too cartoonish. They're not realistic. Beth's already been hit in the mouth twice, and she takes it like nothing. I won't get into it because I'll piss off a lot of people, but you get hit in the mouth by a grown man really hard, it's going to do, you're going to have to go to the dentist or a maxillofacial reconstruction person. Well, hello, sweetheart. How are you? I'm doing fine. You think people in other countries like Australia should care about events in the United States? Should their opinions be heard on those matters? I think opinions are like people. Everybody's got one. But should they care about events in the United States? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll tell you a story real quickly why they should. I was in Australia in 2002 with my wife and my daughter. Western Australia, out towards Perth. We drove up to a place called Lancelin, which is it's sand dunes and all that right on the beach, right? Western Australia. And we were messing around the sand dunes and all that kind of stuff, and we came down towards the beach, and way off in the distance, and it was like a movie, you could see an aircraft carrier just ghosted out there on the ocean. And I turned to my Australian host and I said, "Hey, there's one of your aircraft carriers." And he laughed like this. He said, "That's not our aircraft carriers. We don't have aircraft carriers. That's your aircraft carrier." And I said, "Well, what's it doing there?" He said, "Well, your country protects us. If your country wasn't protecting us, we'd be part of China." So, yeah, I think people in Australia should care what's going on in the United States, unless you want to be Chinese. So there's my, I had no idea. I had no idea that the United States taxpayer pays to protect Australians. My mustache looks weird. All right, y'all. So here we are. We're at 30 minutes. I'm always here for you. I'm here for the whole hour, but I'm not unless you guys are going to ask questions. They've been good questions today. I probably made a bunch of people mad. I can't wait to see how many unsubscribers we got today. And I've been trying to be nice. Hey, I'm glad I found my wallet too. I really had almost given up. And I was telling Danielle on the phone at that moment that I didn't know what to do. It was going to make life very difficult for all of us. Amy said that couple have been roasted for their gun toting. Well, I'd rather be roasted for my gun toting than roasted by a bunch of moral soulless thugs rampaging through a gated area that doesn't belong to them with weapons. So if you're alive the next day after that, who cares if a bunch of idiots on social media are roasting you? So here we are. If you got a question or comment, I hope, Nate, I hope that answers your questions. I have no idea whose opinions should be heard. I think everybody should have one, but whether they should be heard or not, I guess that's a whole different. How do 60% of voters think Biden has dementia, but he's up in the polls? He's not up in the polls. Not even close. Well, he's up in the polls, but the polls are inaccurate. I could explain polling to you for pretty in depth, but I have a shorthand. I have never. This is going to sound a little bit racy, and I'm not supposed to say bad things when Danielle's on here, or when she's not on here either. But I have never been polled. They don't poll people like me. A huge portion of America never gets polled. They don't have my phone number. I don't answer my phone unless it's somebody I know. They don't call rural people. They don't call people out there here where I live. They just don't. You're not going to get polled. If you're going to get polled, it's going to be by a local politician or a local Democratic or Republican Party, and they will delete your answer. National polls poll in cities. Cities are, by and large, hugely Democratic. That's why polls are always wrong. They are always wrong. They are reliably wrong. And when something's reliably wrong, then you can even kind of lean on it. Yeah, the Hillary polls, people like to point at that, but polls have been wrong for my entire life. My entire life. They used to be more accurate. Here's the thing that they don't add into the situation. In 1984, let's say, although a huge percentage of the population was urban or suburban, there was a even mix in the urban and suburban areas of people that might have been considered left and people who might have been considered right. In the rural areas, those have always been and will remain majority conservative-leaning people. In the last 30 years, because of public education and because of the higher education going extremely far left, and because people, when they go through the process of public education and higher level education, inevitably move to a city because cities are where the jobs are. So they're ingratiated and they are brainwashed into a particular ideology, and then they have to go to those areas in order to work. Those things become more and more historically blue. People who are in cities and see the right direction things are going tend to move out. So we see a stark divide between rural areas and urban areas. Pollsters are lazy and they're stupid. And so they get numbers, most of these numbers, a vast majority of those numbers, 99.9% are in areas surrounding a city of more than 100,000 people. And so if you are in an area where you are not within 24 miles of a city of 100,000 people, you are not getting polled. And then the polls end up wrong. But here's the thing. What does anybody care? The Hillary polls were wrong, but then they were wrong about Russia. They were wrong about everything else. They've been wrong about everything, one thing after another, after another, after another. They were wrong about the Catholic Covington kids. They were wrong about, and they're so reliably wrong, but people still turn them on one day and go, hey, Biden's up in the polls. Oh, really? You got everything wrong? You got the what was it, the North Carolina lacrosse players wrong, and you got who was the kid that was on Empire? You got that story wrong. You got everything wrong. But then we're going to see that and go, hey, and people actually believe it. We're often told on social media that our opinions about the U.S. doesn't matter. That's the context. Well, yeah, all I'm saying is if I looked out there and there was an aircraft carrier and those people were protecting me from being Chinese, then whoever those people are, I would have an opinion about what's going on where they are, because those people go home if things get really bad. I got a call once for a poll. They took my info and then said, thank you. We have enough of people in your category. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. All right. So anything else you guys want to talk about? Otherwise, I'm going to go watch Yellowstone and pray for a better day tomorrow. I pray my back wheel doesn't fall off. I cannot keep a car out of the shop. I just got done putting an alternator in that car, and it's just one thing after another. And so I sit there sometimes and I go, you know what? If everything crashes, I don't want that to happen. I got a movie being made about my book, and I want things to get better. I want things to get better for you because I care about you and I love you and I want you to be happy. But there are times when I'm weak, where I sit there before the Lord and I say, Lord, if this is where we're going, just bring it on. Just bring it on. My entire negative element of my life is my interaction with the world. 100%. It's vehicles, which I only use to go to town because I don't need them, but I use them so I can get stuff, so I can continue to do this, and for the cars and all that kind of stuff. I'm watching it without you, Danielle, but here's the thing. I paid for it. And it's both seasons, the first two seasons are now available for you on my Amazon Prime. So I am watching it without you, but I'll watch it again with you. But they're available for you. You can watch them. Hoping very much to see you on Friday. That would make my day. That would make all the negative stuff in my life go away if I got to see you on Friday. All right, y'all. I'm not seeing any other questions. Looks like we run out of steam. It's been a good show, though. I appreciate you guys tuning in this late. It's always a good time to be here. Hit the like button, subscribe. After this thing is over, after I'm done, wait 30 minutes. You go to YouTube. You can find me at youtube.com/bunkdad. Go to the YouTube link of this video and like it and put a comment. Just go down to the comments and just say, hey, I liked it. See, if you do that, more people are going to see my videos. That's the way you can help. If you don't want to donate and you don't want to help me get some batteries and all that kind of stuff, just go there. If you don't want to do that, just go to michaelbunker.com, click on the partner, subscribe, go down there and make a huge donation. Just make a huge one. Like, just let's take care of some problems and make everybody happy. All right, y'all. God bless you. I love you. Lord willing, I'll see you again tomorrow or the next day or one of those days if the Lord wills. You guys have a good night.